Hey YouTube, it's itslinamar, and I'm going to be showing you how I got this very brown, everyday wearable look. So I'm going to start off by just clipping the hair out of my face, and I've already moisturized my skin, so we're going to go straight in with the eyes to start with. So the first colour I'm going in with is Buck by Urban Decay, and it's from the Naked One palette. It's just a medium matte brown, so a bronzer that's matte will do as well if you don't have this. And I'm just taking it on a fluffy brush, and I'm just washing my lids with this colour. As you can see, I'm mainly concentrating it on the outer third of the eye. The next colour I'm using is Max Espresso, which is again a matte brown. It's slightly darker than the first one, and I'm just using that on a smaller blending brush, and I'm concentrating that mainly in the socket line just to define my crease a little bit. If you want something a bit more dramatic, you could substitute the brown for a black, but I opted for this sort of matte dark brown, and I'm quite happy with it. Taking a clean fluffy brush and blending those two colours together. And with the same colour Buck that I used on the lids first, I'm taking that just under my lower lash line as well. So next up I'm using a brown pencil. This is just one by Gosh, nothing too fancy, and I'm just going to use that to tightline my upper and lower waterline. And I'm mainly concentrating this again on the outer thirds of the eye. Taking the L'Oreal Super Liner, I'm just going to do a slight cat eye. If you don't want to do a cat eye, then you can just smudge a bit of kohl liner here. It will look really nice as well. But again, I'm just going to concentrate this just on the outer thirds of the eye. And I'm sorry it was out of focus. I'm trying. I'm going to come back to the eyes later on, but I'm going to move on to the skin for now. And I'm using this Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 220. Very nice foundation, but it definitely needs a powder, and it's not that long lasting, but I do really like the finish. And I'm using my favourite brush, as you guys know, from H&M. It's the BB Cream brush. Can't get enough of it. Now taking the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 25, I'm just going to dot that under my eyes and blend that out with the Sigma E35 brush. And with whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to take that around the sides of my nose and mouth, but nothing too heavy with the concealer here. So moving on to brows, I'm using the Soap & Glory Brow Archery, and I'm going to just groom through them first, and then I'm going to fill it in using the other end. And this is pretty much a dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It has a very fine nib and an excellent spoolie, but for half the price. The only downside is that it only comes in two colours. This is the darkest one in Hot Chocolate, but for me it's absolutely fine, and I really like this product a lot. Once I've drawn them in, I just brush through them again just to make sure everything's blended. So I am going to set the face, and I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime powder because it's very light, doesn't look cakey. I really like it a lot. Next is bronzer, and I'm using the Chanel Bronze Universelle, and I'm just going to do a slight contouring with this, nothing too crazy. I'm kind of using it as a slight blush as well because it's the only thing I'm really going to use on my cheeks, and it's going to give me a slight colour as well as define my cheekbones. To give my skin a nice glow, I'm using this Revolution Baked Bronzer in Golden Days. It doesn't give me too much of a colour, just a nice highlight shimmer, so that's why I've opted for this. If you can't go without a blush, then use something that's quite brown tone, because it will tie in very nicely with the lips and the eyes. I'm going back to the eyes now, and I'm using the Urban Decay colour in Hustle this time, which is a slightly darker purpley brown. I'm just taking a very small amount of that just on the outer corners of the eye, nothing too fancy, just to deepen up ever so slightly. And I'm also going to take a little bit just on the lower lash line as well. And don't forget to blend it out with a clean blending brush as well. Okay, now the last colour from the palette, I promise, it's this colour called Virgin, and I'm just taking it on a MAC pencil brush on the inner corners of the eye, just to brighten that up a little bit. I'm going to take it slightly on the brow bone, but not too much because I don't want it to look too polished or heavy. Curling my lashes with my favourite eyelash colour by Uemura. Applying my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara onto the upper and lower lashes. If you want, you can opt for falsies, but with my glasses that's just a bit of a nuisance, so I'm just opting for some mascara here. Time for the lips. Now I'm using these LA Girls Endless Lip Pencils. These are great, they were only $1.99 in Beauty Base, and I'm using the colours Cocoa and Natural. And I'm taking a slightly darker one, Cocoa, and I'm just lining my lips with that. I am going to take it in slightly towards the centre as well, and it just gives a really nice brown colour. This isn't for everyone, but I really like this brown lip going on this winter. Can't get enough of it. Now taking the lighter colour in Natural, I'm just going to use that on the centre of the lips. This will just create slight dimension. And last lip item, I promise, it's this Revlon lipstick in the colour Mink. And that's it, that's the finished look. You can see me posing here just so you guys can see the highlight. It's just a very natural look, nothing too fancy, a little bit messy. That's just how I do my makeup. Hope you guys like it. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, to subscribe, and to stay tuned for more. Peace!